Okay, so recording is started. Okay, so as you can see on my screen, okay, this is the one. Okay, let me close this. Okay, so you can see on my screen, as we have already covered Java, so we are now going to learn Selenium, and this is the reason I have written that Selenium introduction. Okay, so before going forward, first of all, let us discuss the definition part of Selenium. Okay, so what is the definition of Selenium? So Selenium is we can say that Selenium is a set of jar files. Uh, you can say jar files to automate your browser. Browsers can be like Chrome, Firefox is one of the browser, and Internet Explorer as well. Okay, so you can say Selenium will help you in automating that browser. And if I talk about the definition part, so I will say that Selenium is just a set of jar file. So why I am saying it is a set of jar file? Actually, people have misconception. Misconception people have nowadays about Selenium. Misconception is that misconception. Okay, so forget about the spelling part. So what is the misconception people have? That Selenium is a separate tool. Okay, so let me tell you, this is wrong. Not correct. Selenium is not a separate tool. Like, okay, so we are not going to download any tool just like Eclipse for Java, right? We are going to write all our Selenium code in Eclipse itself. So I will just simply say that Selenium is not a separate tool. It is just a collection of jar files. Okay. So keep in mind that Selenium is not a separate tool. Again, I am saying it is just a collection of jar files. Okay. So till now it is clear to you on the definition part. Then we will come to its advantages and disadvantages as well. Please confirm. Karthike, Shailesh, okay, Arjun has said yes. Thank you, Arjun. So, what I was saying that, okay, so this is the definition part. This is one thing. So, talking about the what are the advantages we are having in case of Selenium, right? So, first of all, the Selenium is open source. So, open source in the sense that you do not have to pay the Selenium guys, right? The person, or you can say the company who have developed Selenium. Okay, you do not have to pay the Selenium guys to use Selenium, right? You can use it for free. You do not have to pay single rupees for that. Means if I talk about this tool, this is one tool which is quick test learning. This is also one popular, you can say, not popular than Selenium. Okay, but it is a popular tool developed by HP. Okay, so what I'm saying, this is a paid tool. Okay, so if you have to use this tool, QTP, so you have to pay to the, you can say, the HP developers, right, who have developed this QTP to use this. So, but in case of Selenium, you can use it for free. So this is one advantage. Second is multi-browser support, right? So you can see the how many, these are the so many browsers, right? So here we will focus mainly on Chrome and Firefox because we will not focus on these two browsers, right? So what I'm saying, uh, I'm saying that multi-browser support is provided by the Selenium, right? It can automate your Chrome browser and Firefox as well. And you can see the third point that you can write Selenium code in many languages, right? You can write it in Java, you can write it in C Sharp. This is Perl is one of the language. Python, Ruby, and PHP are also other language, right? So here we are, you can see that how many language it is supporting. So here we are discussing Selenium with Java, right? As our agenda is Java with Selenium. So, but every coin has two sides. So there are some disadvantages with the Selenium as well. So you can see on the, you can see this. This is the first one. This first disadvantage of Selenium, right? So what is the disadvantage of the Selenium? That it is no reliable technical support from anyone. Okay, so as it is an open source, right? you are not paying anything. So suppose if you are facing any kind of issue while writing Selenium code, so that Selenium guys will not provide you any technical support for that, right? You have to just Google out the things, right? Like you can visit Stack Overflow for finding the solution, but Selenium guys will not help you. But if we consider this QTP one, QTP Quick Test Learning uh, one, this is the one provided by the HP. So you can see that as it is a paid tool, so the technical support is provided by the HP guys, right? But in case of Selenium, if you are facing any kind of issue, then you have to Google the issue, but you cannot rely on the Selenium guys because they will not going to help you. And second is you can say support web-based application only. So what do you mean by web-based application only? Like suppose if I open my Chrome browser, right? Let me open Chrome browser separately. So here also you can see uh, the whatever the code, or we can say whatever the URL I will write here, right? Suppose if I opening youtube.com or gmail.com, so these are all the web-based application, right? If so, Selenium will only be able to automate, you can say only web-based application only, right? But it will not be able to automate any Windows-based application. Like suppose if I open Paint, right? So this is one Windows application, Windows-based application, desktop application. So Selenium will not be able to handle, or you can say Selenium will not be able to automate these kind of desktop application, right? So this is one disadvantage with Selenium. And suppose it is saying if you have to work with Selenium, you have to. Okay, so this is another thing I will talk it about later. So you can see that these are the two major disadvantages of Selenium, right? And if you're using Selenium, then you have to deal with it. Okay, so is it clear to you? Okay, so recently I have just discussed one this QTP. So I think I have mistakenly written its full form like this. So its full form is Quick Test Professional. I am not sure whether I have written it correctly or not. So okay, keep in mind. So this is the full form. It anyways we are not discussing this, just for the introduction part I'm telling you, right? So anyways we are not going to use this as of now. So you got the idea that what is the advantage and disadvantage of Selenium. Please confirm once, then I will proceed forward. Okay. So as you can see on the screen, okay, someone, I think someone wants to join. Okay, fine. So okay, so these are the disadvantages. Okay, so what are the prerequisites we have to do before working with the Selenium code, right? So let me make it little bit big. So before working with Selenium, you have to do some things. First is you have to install Java in your system. Okay, then only your Selenium test case will work. Otherwise, they will throw that. Okay, so this is one pre-request you have to do before begin with your Selenium code. So if you have to install Java in your system and also set Java path. Okay, so I hope that many of the people are here who will be knowing that how to set the Java, how to download the Java, and how to set the path. But as we are dealing with Selenium, this is the first class of Selenium. I will tell you in brief that how we have to you can say set the path and download the Java. Okay, so how, first of all, if you have to install Java, before that first check that whether my system is having Java or not. If I have to check whether in my system Java is present, then what I will write, I will simply type Java hyphen version. Okay, if I press enter, then you will see that this is the Java version 14.0.2. Okay, so which means that Java is already installed in my machine. Okay, if you do, if your system will not have Java, then you will get some kind of error like internal or external command, some error like this, right? If you do not have any Java in your system. So how we are going to get Java in our system? Then you will simply write Java JDK download. Okay, just type this Java JDK download, press enter. Okay, you will come to this site. Okay, click this oracle.com first site only, and then you will land here. Okay, after that click this JDK download. Okay, and scroll to the bottom of the page. Okay, so here you will find this one, Windows 64 installer, and this one. So I think you can go with anyone, but as of now, you can go with this, right? So download this. When you click this, it will a message box will appear. Click this and then press this download JDK. After that, you will see it has started downloading. As of now, I am cancelling it because I have already having it in my system, right? So I will cancel it because I do not require it as of now. I have already in my system, so I will cancel it. Okay, so after you have downloaded this file, okay, this is a zip format file, you can see. So after that, what you have to do, you have to extract the zip file so that you can see the contents of the file. So let me first uh, see where my Java is located. Okay, so I think let me come here first. I will tell you, talk about it in a short while. Okay, so this is the one where my Java is located. So if I open this path, okay, after you will download this JDK file, extract that, and then this is the content you will get on the file, right? And this is the path where it is present. And you can see if I click this folder, you can see that there are so many files are present, right? These are all the Java files. Okay, so downloading this is not only sufficient. You have to set the Java path in your system, right? Then only your system will recognize that yes, Java is installed in your system. Okay, so one thing you might be wondering that why we are setting this Java path. Okay, see what will happen when we will write our Selenium test cases in Eclipse. Okay, so what will happen? Selenium by default do not have the knowledge where Java is located in your system, right? So what Selenium will do? Okay, so Selenium will first talk to the environment variable. I will talk about the environment variable in a short while, but as of now, understand Selenium do not have any knowledge where Java is located in your system. So Selenium, what will do? Selenium will first come to environment variable. Okay, so you can see that this is the environment variable. You can see it is written here. Selenium will first come to the environment variable. Then Selenium will talk with this environment variable. You can see this is our environment variable, right? And it will see, okay, so this is the path where Java is located. And then Selenium will go there and execute all the Java files which are necessary for our program execution, right? So this is the reason that we are setting this environment variable, and it is a mandatory step. Otherwise, your script may fail. Okay. So first of all, we should understand that how we have to set this path. Okay. So let me remove this. Remove this. We will start from the scratch. Okay. I think we do not require it as well. Okay. So this is the suppose this is the extracted file which I have. Okay. And this is the path of this. Let me come here. So this is the folder. After file extraction, I will click this folder. I will simply first copy the path till here. Okay, I will copy this entire path which is highlighted, and then I will search this PC here. What I will do, I will just right click and then I will come to properties tab and I will click advanced system setting. Okay, then come to this environment variable. Here, come here on the system variable and click new. Okay, so you can give any name. Java, suppose I am giving this Java. What is my variable language? Java, and I will simply say control V. So this is the path where this Java is located as of now. Then you have to press OK. After you press OK, okay, let me write it this only. Java underscore. Okay, you can give any name. So suppose I have given this name, Java underscore home. So after you click OK, then you can see this. Okay, the path in this box. I am not pressing OK again because I am already having it in my system. So as of now I am cancelling it. You have to press OK. Okay, if you do not have Java in your system. So after that you can see that this is the Java one. Okay, so Java is set. One more path you have to set here. Again go to that folder and click this bin folder. Okay, copy this path, complete path. Okay, and then this is there is also one variable. This is the one path. It will already be installed in your system. Okay, you do not have to create this uh, path variable. Okay, then you have to double click it. Okay, after that this box will open and click new. Okay, so inside that you have to paste this path till bin directory bin folder. Okay, so as of now after that you have to press OK. as of now I will not paste this path again, because you can see on the third last I am already having it in my system, right, this path. So I will simply remove it and do not do anything. Okay, but if you do not have the Java, then you have to follow these two steps. Okay, then you can press OK. So I will press OK here. Okay, then press OK here as well, and then try to run this command again, so that you will be able to check whether Java is in your system or not. Okay, if you are seeing any kind of error, then it means that you have not set the path correctly, right? So you can see I have set the path correctly. So this way you can have Java in your system. So this is one thing. So is it clear to you that how we have to set Java in your system? Please confirm. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, okay. Okay, so second thing is we have to work with Eclipse. So I think you know how to work with Eclipse as well, because okay. So anyone have any issues of working with Eclipse, or how to down from where we have to download it? Then I will also tell that. So let me tell this as well. So if we are going to work with Eclipse, so just type on Google Eclipse download. Okay. After that, come here, and then you have to come here. Okay. Click this download packages. Then you can use this one. Okay. This one. If you click this 64-bit, then you get a link like this, and after you will click download, it will be installed in your system, right? So by doing this, we are able to install Eclipse in our desktop, or you can say the laptop, whatever you may have. Okay, so after you will finish downloading, you will see the icon like this. Okay, so this is just a shortcut. Let me tell you how it will look like. Open file location. So after you will finish extraction of the Eclipse application, so you will see something like this. Okay, just click this, double click this, and it will launch your Eclipse. Okay, we are going to write every code of Selenium in this Eclipse only editor only. Okay, so I think okay, so after that it will ask you for a path. So let us create one new folder. Okay, let me create new folder here. Let me open this. Okay, let me open this. Okay, so let us name this as suppose if I name this as test case. Okay, no test case, project Selenium. Okay, so this is my folder. So I have created one folder here. So why I'm creating this folder? Because whatever the code of Selenium I will write will be present in this box. Okay, will come here. So this, it is mandatory to set up a path, so that even if you have to again open your project, then you can comfortably come to this you can say path and launch it. Okay, so I'm using this path as of now. You can set any of your new path. Okay, so this is the path where I will be writing my Selenium code. Okay, then I will just say launch. It will launch one a empty project for me. Okay, so let us wait for its loading. It's opened, and then just maximize it. Okay, so after that you have to click on workbench. Okay, here is the place where we will going to write our code. So I will click workbench. Okay, fine. Then after I have to create one project first before writing any code. I have to create a project. So I will simply click create a Java project. Okay, suppose the I will write any name for the project. Suppose the project name is project Selenium demo. Okay, so this is my project name, and I will simply click on finish. Get one warning. Okay, just saying some warning, right? But you can ignore this and create it. Create it. Click on create. See after that. Okay, so our project is I think ready. So Okay, it is loaded completely, and okay, you will get one file. If you get one file like this, I will suggest you to delete this file. Okay, because I've seen that many times. If this file is present, then you will get unnecessary error because of it. So if you are getting this kind of file, then just remove it. We do not require it. Okay, so I am removing this from our project. Okay, after that, in this folder, source folder, I will create one package. Okay, so I will create a package. Inside that package, I will be writing different class. So suppose the package name is let me say demo one. Okay, so suppose the package name is something like this. After this demo one, I will simply create one class in it. Okay, inside that class, I will be going to write all the code related to Selenium. So what is the class name we can write? Suppose class name is Selenium uh, demo. Suppose this is my class name. Okay, and if you checkbox this, click this, then this line will be written automatically. If you do not check it, then you have to write this line. Okay, so I am checking it as of now, and then click on finish. Okay, so this is created one class. Okay, inside that class, what I will write my Selenium code. Okay, so as I've told you already that that Selenium is not a separate, right? It is just a collection of jar files. So what I'm saying, I will write my Selenium code here. Okay, suppose if I return my suppose if I write some code like this, right? Suppose this is a code of Selenium. Suppose this is a code of Selenium, but how your Eclipse will recognize whether this is a Selenium code, right? So first, what you have to do before writing any Selenium code, you have to first provide the knowledge of Selenium to the Eclipse. Okay, let me write it here. You have to first, before writing any code, you have to first provide knowledge of Eclipse, knowledge of Selenium. Sorry, Selenium to Eclipse. Okay, then only Eclipse will recognize Selenium code. Okay, so we have to do one this thing first. Then only we will be able to write our code. Okay, and how you will do this? So the question is, but how? Okay, so jar files, as I've told you in this that here, Selenium is a set of jar file, right? So these jar file, let me write it here again. Jar files will give knowledge of Selenium code. Okay, I will add that a jar file will help Eclipse to understand that the code is of Selenium, right? That the code is a Selenium code. So if I have written it that how we are going to provide the information of Selenium to Eclipse, jar files will help. Okay, so will help Eclipse to understand that the code which you are writing is a Selenium code. So if the jar files will help, then first I have to get this jar file. So what I will do, I am saying first I need to get these files. Okay, so how you are going to get these files? Let us see. So I will quickly go to my Chrome. Let me open one more browser. Okay, let me check whether we are recording or not. Okay, so we are recording. So I will again open one Chrome browser. Okay, and here what I will write Selenium jar download. Okay, just write like this, and you will see that this is the one official website www.selenium.dev. Okay, so click this website. After that, come to the bottom of the page. Okay, here see, as we are, there are so many languages, right? Ruby is one of the language, Python, you can see C Sharp, JavaScript, but we are dealing with Java. So come here. Okay, this is the link where you will find the Selenium Java. Okay, so if you are working with Python, then you can download these jar file. But here we are working with Java, so we have to download these jar file, right? So see, you can see that it has a downloaded. I think it is also taking some of the time. It has not downloaded because it is still, you can see that it is loading. So let us wait for it to finish download properly. Okay, so you can see that it has downloaded it. Okay, so just click here, show in folder. Okay, so as it is a zip file, then I have to, you can say, extract its content. So I will simply click extract all. Okay, so this is the path, and I will simply extract the content of that zip file. So this is the one, or you can say, see, if I place my mouse, you can say executable jar file. If I place the mouse here, okay, executable jar file of a 1.45 MB. So these are the jar file which we have to require for which we require so that our Eclipse will understand our Selenium code, right? So for this reason, we have to import this jar in Eclipse first. Okay, meaning that we have to first give the knowledge of jar file to Eclipse. Then this jar file will give Eclipse the knowledge of Selenium code. Okay, if I click this folder, you can see 5 jar files are present, right? If I place my mouse, you can see that. Uh, okay, you can see executable jar file, right? So these are all the 5 jar file. These are the 5, and you can see the 2 here as well. So total 7 jar file we have to import in our Eclipse project. Okay, so how we are going to import these files? See here, I will come to my Eclipse again. Okay, so this is my project name, project underscore selenium underscore demo. I will right click this, and I will come to properties tab. Okay, and then come here, this fourth one, Java build path. Okay, and after that come to this tab, libraries tab. Here click this class path. Okay, so when you click this class path, you will see these options will highlight. So I have to click this one. Okay, so why I have to click this second one is because I have jar installed in my local machine, right? So it is added, it is present externally in our system. So I will click this add external jar. Okay, then you can see the what is the path. Let me open it again. So you can see that this is the only, it is already opened. So you can see that these are the 2 jar files. Okay, so I will simply select both of these and click on open. So you can see the 2 jar files are imported in our Selenium. Okay, again I will click this class path, click it, and again click this add external jar, right? So I will come here and I will also add 5 more jars which are present. Okay, I will click on open. So you can see that all the 7 jar files have imported in our Eclipse. Okay, so keep an eye here. Okay, uh, over this Wi-Fi symbol. When I will click apply, you will see some kind of loading will happen here. Okay, let us click apply. Okay, so you have seen that within seconds it has gone. So after that, what will happen? Your Eclipse will have the knowledge of your whatever the code you will write in Selenium. Eclipse will be able to recognize this because we have imported jar files in our project. Okay, so I will simply click on apply and close. But okay, so this is the mandatory step you have to do before you will write any of the you can say code in Selenium. So is it clear to you all that how we have to, why we are requiring jar file and how we have to import that jar file in our Eclipse? So is it clear to everyone? Please confirm. Okay, I hope everyone is clear. Okay, so what I will do, let us suppose, okay, so let me come here again. Okay, so this is we have done, and second prerequisite is just import Java file, sorry, jar file in uh, your project. So these are the 2 steps. Okay, so now coming to the main point. So suppose if you have to automate, if you to automate your code, you can say your test case, you can say the code on Chrome browser. Okay, so on Chrome browser, then Chrome driver is one class is used. Okay, same thing. If I say, if I let me copy this again, if you have to automate your test case, or you can see the code on Firefox this time, browser, then Firefox driver is one of the class you will use. Okay, Firefox driver class is used, right? Okay, if I come to Internet Explorer, let me paste it again. And if you have to automate your test case, or you can say the code on Internet Explorer, right? I think many of the people are not using it nowadays. Just but let us understand. Then Internet Explorer driver is a class. Internet Explorer driver classes, right? So this is one thing. So I hope these are the three classes. Again, I'm saying, if you have to work with Chrome, understand in simple language, right? If you have to work with Chrome browser, then you have to use this class. This is the class. If you have to work with Firefox browser, then this is the class. Okay, so driver is here. Okay, so this is the class. If you have to work with Internet Explorer, then this is the class. So I will come to my Eclipse folder. Suppose that if I have to work on Chrome browser, right? So what I will do, I will simply create the object of Chrome driver class. So how we are going to create the object? See here. I hope you all will be knowing, because you already have the knowledge of Java. So I will not talk about in depth. So just we are creating the object of this. Suppose my object name is driver, right? And after that new, with the help of new keyword, I will create the object. So this way you will be able to create object of this Chrome driver class. Okay, so it is throwing one error. Let us see. See, it is saying import Chrome driver, right? So this is a package. Chrome driver is a package. Okay, inside that package, this is the class. Okay, so you have to import it. And one more thing, if if you have not imported jar files, right, in your project, then you will not see that statement. This statement, import one, it is coming from the jar file, right? With the help of the jar file, it is coming. So I will simply import it, and you will see the error will go. Okay. So let me put one more basis here. Okay, now we are not getting any kind of error, but if you run this code, still also your Chrome browser will not open. So reason is, okay, let me tell you. One more step we have to do before this line. Actually, what happened? See, uh, suppose whatever the person who has developed Chrome browser, right? So they are saying that Selenium is a third-party tool. What they are saying, Chrome browser guys are saying that Selenium is a third-party tool. I will not allow Selenium directly to run the Chrome browser, right? But I will provide you one .exe file, right? With the help of which you will be able to automate, or you can say with the help of which you will be able to open your Chrome browser. Again, I am saying, see, sorry, that Selenium is a third-party tool for the Chrome browser, right? It is a third-party tool. So what Chrome browser is saying that I will not allow you directly to open me, but I will provide you one .exe file. Okay, that exe file name is this one. Let me write it here: Chrome driver .exe. Okay, so this is the let me write it correct. Chrome driver is the this is the exe file which Chrome browser guys have provided, right, to the Selenium, so that Selenium will be able to open the Chrome browser. So before that we have to do one step. Okay, so first of all let me download this that file, Chrome driver.exe file. So just go to your uh, browser and then simply type Chrome driver download. Okay, just write this. Okay, after that come here, first link, and then you will be navigated to here. Okay, before I will suggest you, before downloading any of the file from here, just check your browser version. Okay, go to help and click on about Google Chrome. So after that you will see this is the version, right? This is the updated version, latest version. I will copy this. Okay, then I will paste it here, suppose. So you can see what is the closest number. If I talk about this 85.0.4183.102. Okay, so last one digit is changed, but I think this is the most closest number to this number, right? So I will download this one. This is the second one. I will click this, and it will we have to download this one. So one more thing, whether your system is 64-bit or 32-bit, right? Download this one, okay? Other is for Linux and Mac. So we are interested in this one. So even if your Windows is 64-bit, then it will work. Okay, so I am downloading this one. Click this. So you can see that it is downloaded very fast. And let us check where it is downloaded, right? So this is the one, but it is a zip file. I will extract it. You can see I will click this and I will click this. Okay, so after that you will see that this is the file I was talking about, that it is a .exe file, right? We will use this file to you can say open our Chrome browser, right? This file will help us. Okay, we cannot directly open our Chrome browser with the help of Selenium, because for Chrome browser guys, Selenium is a third-party tool, right? So they have provided one .exe file with the help of which you can automate your browser, right? So one more, this is one thing, and after that, before that, we will write one step. So understand this. This is a class. Okay, this is a class. Inside this class, there is one property. Okay, if I come here, so what I'm saying, inside this is a Chrome driver class. Inside this class, there is a one property. As of now, remove this. Okay, we are not interested in second one. So what is the property? This is the property name, webdriver.chrome.driver, right? So this is one property, and that property will expect uh, where you have your Chrome driver.exe file. So this is our file. So this is the path. I will copy this path, okay, and I will paste it here. So what I'm saying again, I'm saying that inside this class, which is the, what is the class? Chrome driver is our class. Inside this class, this is the class. There is one property. What is the property name? Webdriver.chrome.driver, right? And this property expect the path of our Chrome driver.exe. Okay, so here this is the path where our, you can say, this file is present, right? So first we have to set this property, right? So how we are going to set the property? So see here. So before this line, just you have to write one line. Like I will write system dot set, okay, system is a class, okay, and then set property is one method. So I will write set property. Okay, so this is the second last one, right? So here it is expecting us the key. So what is our key? Key is the property name. So what is our property name? I will write, this is the property name, webdriver dot chrome dot driver. Okay, this is our property name. Okay, and here in the value part we have to provide the path. So what is the path? You can see. Okay, so this is the path wherever this file is located. So I will copy this path. Okay, copy this and then simply paste it here. Okay, after pasting it, one more thing you have to do, which is mandatory. You have to just provide the file name at the end of this path. What is my file name? My file name is Chrome driver. Okay, Chrome driver, and also provide the extension. Okay, it is a .exe format. Okay, so this step is mandatory, right? Many of the people forget this after providing the path, and they say that their Chrome browser is not opening. So this is the reason. Okay, you have to paste the file name along with the, you can see, the file name extension, right? .exe format it is. So I am providing Chrome driver.exe. Okay, so by doing this, these two steps are sufficient enough, okay, to run your Chrome browser, right? Or I can say to trigger your Chrome browser. Let me try to run this. Okay, so if I run this, you can say okay. Then let us see. It will, you can say immediately that it will see, you can see on the part, and it has also invoked our Chrome browser. As of now, you will not see any website here because we have not provided one. So this is how we will discuss how we are going to open one website here. Okay, but first of all, so tell me whether you got the idea that how we have to invoke our Chrome browser, and how we have to set the property and the path as well. Please confirm. Okay, okay, thank you. So what I was saying, that when you have just opened your Chrome browser, okay, you are not seeing any website here. So because we have not provided one, which is quite clear. Okay, so what I will do, I have already created the object, okay, of this class, and this class will have so many methods, and with the help of this object I will be able to access all those methods. So what I will write simply driver dot, so you can say get get. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, it is expecting us the website name. So what is, suppose if I have to open which one, let me open Amazon website, amazon.com. Amazon is the one. So if I copy the website URL, I have copied the website URL. Okay, come here and just paste the URL here in double quotes. Okay, so by doing this, what will happen? Chrome browser will open, and after that, that site will be opened in your browser. Let us check also, then it will be more clear. So this is the method which you can use to open your, you can say, website. So it has opened the Chrome. You can see that it will open the Amazon website. You can see. So is it clear to you that how the get method is helping us to open any website? Is it clear to everyone? Okay, so suppose if I have to open different websites, so what I will do, I will again come here. So this time I want to open not Gmail, not Gmail. Let's suppose I have to open Google.com. Okay, so let me suppose if I have to Google, if I have to open Google.com, then simply inside this get method, paste the URL of Google.com, and that's it. After that, run it, and then you will see the Google.com will open. Okay, I have to, let me click OK here only. So after that, you will see. So you can see that it has opened Google.com with the help of get method. So this is one thing. Okay, so as you can, I hope you all are aware that this is the title. Okay, you can see the title. If I open another website, like suppose if I open W3 schools, so this is a website. Okay, so what if I have to print the title? So you can see if I click place my mouse, so this is the title, W3 schools online web tutorial, right? So what if I have to print the title in my console? So how I have to, which method I have to use, right? Let us see that. Okay, so if I write object again, driver dot, okay, so what I have to do, I have to get the title. So method name is also similar like this. What I have to do, I have to get, I will write a get, and then I will write title T, and you can see this is the method which will help you in getting the title. So what is the title here? If I come here, so this is the title of this. This is the, you can see on the bold one. Okay, downloads hyphen Chrome driver hyphen web driver for Chrome. If you come here, then this is the title. If I place my mouse, so this is the title. Google is the title. Okay, so how you will get this? You can use this method to get the title of any particular, you can say, website. So this is one thing. Okay, let me check. So according to you, what it will print? Any guesses? What you will get in your output? Will you get the title? Yeah, correct. So that's great. You are focusing. Okay, so you can say it will return us something, but we are not printing it, right? So you can say if I remove this, and this, after that you can see that string is written here, right? Meaning that whatever the title you will get, it will be a form of string, right? So first you have to catch it. Okay, you can do in two ways, right? If you don't want to catch it, just write like this. Yeah, okay, if you write like this, then it will print it directly. Okay, let us check whether it is printing Google in our console or not. So let me run it very quickly again. And site is open. You can see in our console Google is present, right? So this is the title. Either you can do this way, but I think we should do this way. That will be more clear. If I write, first I will store it. Okay, so I will write a string value equals to driver dot. So this is the way. This is the, I think, more suitable way to do that. Then you can print the value. So this way, what will happen after the title? will be returned. Okay, it will be stored in this value variable, which is of type string, and after that we are just printing that variable value. So you can see again it will print Google in your console. So this is how you can print the title. Okay, let me click on OK. So you can see it has opened google.com, and then after you can see in our output you can see the Google. Okay, so this is the, you can say, title of our web page. So is it clear to you how we are going to use this get title method? Please confirm. Okay, so okay, so this is my website. You can see starting from here. Okay, suppose if I open Amazon website. So if I right click, okay, if I right click and if I click inspect, okay, so you will see lot of coding part here, right? So what is this code? This is the HTML code which they have used to develop this whole website layout. Okay. So what will happen in some of the banking websites? I hope you might have seen. And what will happen? You are not allowed to see the code of the website, right? You are not allowed to right click on the website. Sometimes it may so happen. But in that case, how you will going to find what is the coding which they have done for the website? So Selenium will help you in that as well. So there is one method by the help of which you will be able to get the page source. Page source in the sense what is the code they have written in developing that website. So this whole code, you can say, if I come here and if I maximize it, okay, so if I, you can see that how many lines of code they have written for this. Okay, but if you are, suppose if you are not able to right click on any website, then with the help of Selenium as well, what you have to do, if you have to get the page source. Okay, so method name is also similar. I will simply write driver.get with the page source. So I will write pag. You can see that this is the method. Okay, so again, if this is the method, then it will return me the code in the string format. So I will catch it here. String, I will write code equals to this. So again, I will write a string code. Okay, so after that you can simply print this code in your output. I will remove this. We do not require it now. Okay, so what I will write? I will write code here, code variable here. After that, you will see the whatever the code written here will be, whatever the code here will be printed in your console output. So let me check as well. Let me run it again. Click on OK. So it has started Chrome driver. So you can see on the back. If I maximize it, okay. So this is the code. You can see the whole code here. So are you able to see that how we are getting this with the help of, you can say, Selenium? Is it clear to everyone? Yeah, for the current page only. Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. If you have to find the, you can say, if you have to find the code of this, suppose you are navigated here, right? So the entire code will going to be different. So you have to again use get page source for this link. So it will provide you only of that page, right? Not on the other page. Okay. So this is one thing. Okay. So let me again come here. So as of now, you are seeing that whenever we are opening our Chrome browser, suppose let me trigger this test case again. Okay, so you are seeing that our Chrome browser is opening in minimized mode, right? I want that every time when I trigger my test, the Chrome browser should open in this mode, like this, every time. So how we are going to do that with the help of Selenium? See here, there is one simple line which you can write to do that. So before opening my URL, I will write here one line. Okay, okay, let me. Okay, so if I put this is my object, driver is my object, dot. There is one method which is manage. Manage is one method. inside that method, inside that manage method, there is one more method which is Windows. Okay, inside this window method, there is one more method which is maximize. So okay, so if I see this, okay, so by writing this, what will happen? Chrome will open in maximized mode. Okay, every time when you run this. So let us check as well. Very far. So if I run this, let me click on OK again. So you will see it will maximize automatic. So you can see that it has maximized, and every time, and after that, whatever the coding you have written in your Eclipse will execute, right? But this is how we can open our Chrome browser in maximize mode. So is it clear to everyone? Okay, fine. Yeah. See, we are not discussing multiple browsers as of now. We first of all let me clear the basic, then we will come to the multiple browser as well, right? Okay. So otherwise it will be confusing. Okay. So let us discuss with one browser as of now. Then we will come to multiple browser as well. Okay. So this is how you can use the multiple. You can use I can say maximize this code, this piece of code. Okay. So after that, as of now, we have seen that how we can execute our test cases, or you can say, okay, treat this as a test case, right? As of now. So if I have to execute my code on the Firefox browser, then how will I going to do that? Okay, so same here. Let me first remove this whole code, or let me comment this out. Okay, first let me comment this. Okay, so what I'm saying that this time I have to work with Firefox browser instead of Chrome browser, right? So how I will going to do that? So as I have told you already, that if you have to automate your test case on Firefox browser, this is the class. Okay, this is the class. So I will copy this class name. Okay, and I will simply make the object of that. So I made the object of that class, and again we have to import one package. Inside that package, okay. So I think I have written the D will be capital here. Okay, so capital D will be here. This is the class name, and inside that we have to import one package. Okay, let me save it first. Okay, now. Okay, so I think I have written capital F here. This will be small f here. Okay, now I think we will get one import statement. So this is the I think import statement you can see. So this is the package. Inside that package, this class Firefox driver class is present, right? I will import it quickly, and you will see error will be gone. So again, I have to set one property because for Firefox browser, whoever has downloaded Firefox, okay. So one thing is that they are not allowing Selenium directly to open their browser, right? They have provided one .exe file with the help of which we can automate our Firefox browser, right? So what is that file name? Uh, that file name is little bit different, and also the in this class as well. This class, okay. Earlier we were talking about Chrome driver, but now we are talking about this class. So this class has one property, okay. And that property name is webdriver.gecko.driver, okay. So this is the property which they have defined for Firefox, and that property will require where you have that file. Okay, so what is the file we have to download this time? Let me remove this. There is one file which is Gecko driver. I think it is the yeah, Gecko driver.exe file. Okay, this time for Firefox we have to download this, and for Chrome browser we have to download Chrome driver.exe, right? So this class has one property which is this one, and that property will require the path to this file. So let us again come to our browser and quickly download the Gecko driver, right? So if I write Gecko driver download, okay, just say this, and suppose I think this is the one, or you can say click this first link, okay. So here if you navigate down, you can see that so many versions are available, right? So we are I am having 64-bit window system. Okay, so I will download this one from bottom to third one, right? Just click this. It is a zip format file, and you will see that it will download in a short while, and I will just open it. Okay, so you can see this is the file. What I have to do, I will extract it. Okay, because it is a zip file, I will extract it content. Okay, I have extracted it, and after that I will copy the path. Okay, so this is the file I was talking about, geekodriver.exe, that will help us integrating the Firefox browser. Okay, so I will copy this, copy the path, and come here, paste the path here. I pasted the path, but again, what I said that provide the file name at the end of this path as well, right? So what is the our file name? geekodriver.exe, right? So this is our file name. So by doing that step, you will be able to invoke Firefox browser on your machine. So let us also check whether it is invoking the browser or not. Let us check. So if I run this, and if I run this, see it has started Gecko driver at the console, and it will invoke your Firefox browser. Okay, let us see. See, it has opened Firefox browser. As of now, you will not see any of the website present on that browser because you have not provided one, which is quite feasible. So what I will do, I will simply open one website. Okay, so forget about I have closed the driver. Okay, so this is the reason it is throwing error. Otherwise, it will not throw the error. And one more thing I want to tell that see, I have told you how to work on with Chrome, as and also I have told you that how to work with Firefox. Okay, but I will tell you from my experience that, and even if you read some of the blogs, from that I came to know that Chrome browser is more feasible, more you can say stable. Okay, Chrome browser is more stable than any of other browser. So meaning that suppose if I return one line of code, one Selenium code in Chrome browser, right? But if I try to write that code in the other browser as well, chances might be that you will get some kind of error, right? Because of the stability. So Firefox browser is not as stable as of Chrome. So whatever the code I will write in the coming lecture, I will use Chrome browser only. But here for the understanding purpose, I am just showing you that how to invoke that Firefox browser as well, right? So I will work mostly with Chrome, okay, in the coming lecture. So I will write driver dot again get method we will use, and what I have to open google.com again. Suppose so let me open this website as of now. Let me open Amazon. Okay, so this is the website URL on the top. This is the website URL, and I will simply paste it here. Okay, then I will run it. Then I will try to run it. So I will run the program and click on OK. See that it will invoke Firefox, and then here you can see that Firefox is already opening in maximize mode, right? So here we do not have to provide any maximize code here, just like we did it for Chrome. So you can see that it has opened Amazon website. Okay, so this is how you can perform any other function as well. Like suppose if you have to get the title of that page. So again, I will write string. Okay, I will write driver dot get title dot get, and then I will write title. Again, I will write. This time I am doing it directly. I will write system.out.println. Okay, so after that you will see the title of the website will be printed. Let us check whether it is printing it or not. So Amazon website will be opened shortly. So it has opened the website. Okay, and you can, if I place my mouse here, you can see the what is the title. This is the title. Okay, open online shopping site in India. Shop online for mobiles, books, watches, shoes, and more. Okay, so this is the title. And if I minimize this, you can see the title is printed, right, just like we did it for Chrome. So this is how you can perform any other operations of the Firefox browser as well. So is it clear to me that how we are opening Firefox browser, everyone? Okay, so as I've told you that Chrome browser is more stable, so I will not do any kind of coding in Firefox. Okay, I will go with Chrome only. Okay, you can try it on Firefox if you wish to do that, but I will, whatever the things I will explain, I will explain it on Chrome only. So I will simply comment it out because I do not require it anymore. Or let me go back. Okay, I will not comment it again. So I think, okay, so this is the one. So I think I have undo some changes and then I will remove this code. So I think it is correct. Chrome.exe at the end is also present. Okay. So I think, okay, one more thing. Suppose if I come here, suppose I write some code offline of code. Okay, after that, okay, I will say 100 lines of code. After that, what I have to do, I have to invoke my Chrome browser. I have to invoke my test case on Firefox browser. So I will write Firefox. So this is the class I will use. If I have to invoke my, and I will import the package. But why I am using this, and suppose the object name is similar, so I will write it as 2. And after that, suppose if I have written again 100 lines of code. Okay, suppose if I have done 100 lines of code, again I have to invoke my test case on Chrome browser. So I have to write that line again. Okay, so if I write my line again, then here. Okay, so what this line will do? This line will execute my test case on Chrome browser, but you can see if I, but you can see that I am repeating one line, this whole line. Okay, so understand this one thing before that. See, there is one interface. I hope you all will be knowing what is an interface. So there is one interface. WebDriver is an interface. Is an interface. Okay, and there are three classes. Like suppose Chrome driver is one of the class. Second class is Firefox. Third is Internet. Something like this, Internet Explorer driver, right? I think it is the one. Okay, Explorer driver is the class, right? So all as of now we are focusing on these two. So let me remove this. Okay, so what I'm saying that this is a interface, okay, which Selenium guys have defined. Okay, and I hope you all will be knowing that what is an interface. Let me tell you again. Interface we have abstract method, right? Abstract method in the sense their definition is not provided. Their definition will be provided in the class which are implementing it, right? So these two classes are implementing it. So whatever the abstract method which we will have in this WebDriver class, okay, that will be defined in these classes, right? So instead of writing like this, you can say instead of writing like this, I will write WebDriver here. Okay, I hope you have done some kind of coding in the Java as well, right? I will write interface name here, import that WebDriver. Okay, and if I after 100 lines of code, if I have to invoke my, you can say invoke my Firefox browser, right? After 100 lines of code, if I have to do the coding on Firefox browser, so I will not write this line. Okay, I will simply write what I will write. I will simply write driver equals to like this. Okay, and after that, if I have to again write some 100 lines of code, then what I have to write, I will simply write not this whole line. I will simply write this. So this way, it will be, you can say that we have just reduced the complexity by writing interface here. Okay, so even if you see that in the coming lectures as well, I will write like this, not like from driver equals to from driver. Right? So is it clear to everyone that why I am using interface here? That this is an interface you can see. Okay, I which means it is an interface. So is it clear to everyone? Okay, I hope. Okay, so again I am saying that you should always write like this. So if you even if you have to after 100 lines of code, you have to again invoke on Firefox. Just like write this line. Okay, so as of now I am removing this. Okay, so this is one thing. So let me again. Okay, so one more thing, let us come with the locator part as well, because it is the most important thing in Selenium, right? So suppose if this is my website, let me remove this. So ultimately with the Selenium we have to perform some operation on our website. So suppose if I have to click this is the button. Okay, so not this one. So this is the button, you can see sign in securely. This is the button. If I have to click this, then this will open. Okay, and suppose if I have to enter something here, suppose I have to enter hello, not hello, that is, suppose if I have to enter mobile here, right? Mobile. So how we are going to enter any kind of text in this text box, or how I will click that button? This is the button and this is a text box. So one more thing, you have to, we can do that with the help of locator. I will come to that point shortly. Okay, one more thing is that this is the website, and you can see if I come here, this is mobile. So this is one web element. Okay, you can say this is a web element. If I come here, button. So this button, this sign in securely button is a type of web element. If I come here, you can see if I, this is a search button. If I click this, mobile will be searched. You can see. So this is a, so all those things which are present on the web page, right? If you select this is also one web element. You can see this is also a web element. This is also a web element on this website, right? So we have to ultimately perform some action on this web element, right? So suppose this is a web element. If I have to click that web element, I have to use click. So I will click it. Okay. So understand that how we are going to do that. Okay, so let first of all come to the locator. What is locator in Selenium? Okay, so locators in Selenium. Okay, let me write the definition very clear as well. So locator in Selenium will help us to perform operations on web element. So just now I have told you what are the web element. Okay. See, locators in Selenium, locators in Selenium will help us to perform the operation on web element. So you can see that it is also a web element. This is also a web element. Sign in button. This text box is also a web element, right? So there should be some mechanism of performing the operation on the web element, right? So locator will help us. Again, I am saying locator will help us in performing those operations on the web element. So let us see the very first locator in Selenium, right? That is most common locator. You can say first is ID locator. ID locator. Okay, this is one. You can say web element. Okay, so what I will do, let me come here again on the website. So before perform, suppose if I have to perform any kind of operation. Okay, let me first go back. Okay, so this is the original one. Okay, let me go back again. Okay, so if I have to perform any kind of operation on this text box, right? This is the one text box. So how I will be doing it? First of all, I have to know the coding part of that. How I will know what is the coding part they have done to create this text box? I will right click on inspect. Okay, okay, after you will click on inspect, a window will open like this. Okay, you can see below, and just click here. You can see select an element in the page to inspect it. Okay, there is also one shortcut. After that, you can see control plus shift plus C. I am not using shortcut here. Okay, just go manually. So I will just click this. Okay, after I will click this, come here slowly, and then click here. Okay, click this box. Click, I have clicked it, and after that you will see the coding part of this text box. You can see. Okay, let me first go. Okay, so I hope you all know that how I have come here. Is it clear to everyone that how I get the coding behind that text box by clicking on inspect? Okay, so this is one thing, and let me first suppose this is the one. Let me open this. I think I will be able to copy this as well. So I think copy element. Let me check. come here and then okay, so I have copied it successfully, you can see. So here we have to understand first some basic things about HTML, right? So whenever you find any kind of line here, so always the first element, right? You can see it is static for this input. So what is our tag name here? Tag name is okay. Tag name is input is our tag name. Okay, okay, and then after this, you can see. Let me put one space. Okay, this is our attribute. Okay, ID is one of our attribute. Value is our attribute. Name is our attribute. Okay, and you can say placeholder is one of our attribute, right? Class is one of the attributes. So whatever the elements which are present on the left hand side but inside the tag name will be called as attribute. So how many attributes here? You can say type is attribute, attributes are this is type, and ID is also the attribute. So I will simply write ID is the attribute, and you can say I think value is the one of the our attribute. So whatever is present on the left hand side is called attribute, right? Name is attribute. I will write name here. Okay. So likewise you can see whatever so class is also one of the attribute. So there are so many attributes, right? So what I'm saying, whenever you find any code, first of all you should be able to identify what are the attribute, what is the tag name, right? So it is mandatory to do. Okay, so understand this. Again I'm saying when whatever your code of line will start from, the first element, this is the one, is our tag name. So I have written tag name this. Okay, and whatever the elements inside this tag name, so this is the beginning of the tag name. Okay, so what I'm saying, all these elements will be the attribute. And coming to the part on the right hand side, so this is the id is our attribute, so this is the value of our attribute. So value of id attribute is, you can say this one. Okay, likewise the value of name attribute is field keyword, right? So you should understand this. And again if I come here, you can see here, see my mouse cursor, input is our tag name, and you can see the whatever the yellowish part, type is our attribute, id is our attribute, value name is our attribute, right? And you can say autocomplete is our attribute, placeholder class is our attribute. So you can see, and on the right hand side you will find the value of the attribute. So is it clear to everyone what is this attribute and tag name? Okay, so here as I have told you that we have this locator. Okay, I am removing this. We are discussing this id locator, right? So how we are going to do that? See here, if I open this website, so when you know that I have to perform some kind of operation on this text box, so I will click this first so that I will know what is the coding part. Click here and then just click here. Okay, so this is the, you can say, code. And as we are dealing with the id locator, so you can see the value of id is this one. So we are dealing with the id as of now, so this is the value. I will copy this value. Okay, copy this value. Okay, after that I will come here. So first of all, let me open Amazon website. So get method will help us in doing that. So what is the, you can say, I think, yeah. So this is the website URL. Okay. So I will simply open the Amazon website here. And after that, what I will write one statement. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to find the web element. So there is one method to find the web element, which is find element. Find find element, right? Do not consider this one. Okay, we will discuss it after 3 or 4 classes. So as of now, we are dealing with only one element, so you have to use driver.find element. Okay. After that, it is asking, understand this way, so it will be easier, that it is asking how you have to find the web element, which is text box. I have to find it by ID, so I will write I have to find by ID. So by dot ID. Okay. After that, press enter. Okay. After that, it is expecting the, you can say, the value of the ID. What is the value which we have copied from the browser? This, which is this one. Okay, so no, it is not the one. Again, I have to go. Okay. So value of ID is this. Okay, I will copy this. I will copy this and paste it here in double quotes. Okay, so after that, what you have to do, you have to send some data in the text box. So there is one method which is send key. That method will help you in sending the data to the text box. So suppose if I am sending mobile accessories, right, and if I run this program, what will happen, it will be able to enter the, you can say, the desired text which we have provided this, right, in the text box. So what this line will do, this line will simply do what it will do. First of all, it will check where that text box is present. Okay, so as I have given the ID, so it will know, okay, so the text box is here. Okay, here is the text box. So it will identify whether where our text box is present. After that, what will happen, this is the method we are using. Okay, so it has already located the text box. After that, we are just using this method so that this text will be entered in our text box, right? So this is how this line is working. If I try to run it, you will see that it will enter mobile accessories in the text box. So let us check as well. So if I run this, you will see it will open Amazon, and then after the site will load, it will enter mobile accessories. So you can see that, okay, how fast it is. So it has entered mobile accessories. So do you get the idea that how we are using send keys method for the text box? Okay, fine. So okay, this is one method. Okay, so suppose let me come here again, Amazon website. Suppose if I come to this page, so again what I have to do, I have to write my number here. Suppose if I have to write any random number here, okay. So after that, what we will do manually, right? We have to click on continue button so that we will be navigated to next page. So if I click continue, we will see, okay, so it is saying incorrect number. So let me enter one 9-digit number. Okay, okay. So if I click continue, okay. So if I try this, so you can see we are navigating to this password page, right? So how we have to perform the click action? Okay, I think it is, we have to open it again. Let me open it here. If this is the website, okay. So if I write number here, I have to click on this continue button, right? So I have to perform click operation on this web element, right? Again, I am saying this button, continue button, is a web element in terms of Selenium, right? You can say. So if I have to write the, if I have to click on it, I have to first know the, we are dealing with the ID locator, so I have to first know what is the ID of this button. So if I come here, again I am clicking this and then I will click this button. Click it. You can see the ID is continue, right? I hope you are able to see this. This is the, this again you can see the input is tag name, ID is our attribute, table index is our attribute, and you can see the class is also our attribute. So likewise, there are so many attributes present. So as we are dealing with ID locator, so I have to consider only this one, right? So this is the value of our ID attribute. Okay. So I will just copy this. Okay. I am commenting this line as of now. Okay. Then I will simply write again driver dot. What I have to do, I have to find the element. Element is continue button. So I am saying I have to just find the continue button, and it is asking how you have to find. So I will say I have to find by dot id. Okay, and inside that I will just paste the, you can say, value which we have just copied. This is the value of id attribute. After that, this time we will not be using send keys method because we do not have to send text to a button, right, which is wrong. I have to click perform operation. I have to perform the click operation on the button. So I will use this second method, which is click. Okay, so this is the, what it will do, it will click on continue button. So before that, before clicking on the continue button, we have to do two things as well. First of all, I need to enter this URL. Okay, then only this URL is going to open. So instead of this URL, this time I am directly opening this URL. Okay, so this URL will get opened, and after that, what we have to do, before clicking on continue button, I have to first enter some text here, right? So again, for writing the text, first of all I want to know the ID of that. Okay, so I will click this and I will come in. So you can see ID is this. So many times it may so happen that ID attribute is not presented, right? As of now, you can see that I am dealing with ID, so this is the reason I am showing you the ID attribute. But many times this ID attribute will not be present at all. So in that case, you have to use another locator, right? Which we will discuss in the other class. Okay. So as of now, you can see this is our ID attribute. Input is our tag name, and if I have to send some text here, I will use ID locator. So this is the value of ID. Okay, I will copy this and then I will come here. So before that, what I have to write, let me remove this, or let me remove, okay, I will remove this. I have to first enter something, okay, driver dot. Again, I'm saying I have to find the element. So the element is text box. So find element, and how I have to find the text box element, which is by dot, you can say ID. Okay, ID is our locator. What is the value of ID? And which is this one. Okay. And then what action I have to perform. Again, I have to send something. Okay, I will use this send keys method, and in this method, what I will provide the number. So I will provide this number. Okay, so anything you cannot put integer here, right? It will be stored in the form of a string. So I am placing the number in the form of a string, right? So what will happen? This will enter the number. This line will enter the number in the text box, and after that, this line will going to click on continue button, right? So let us check whether it is working correctly or not. Let us click this. So I will select OK. So you can see that it has clicked on continue button. So is it clear to you that after entering the text in the text box that it is just clicked on continue button with the help of ID locator? So is it clear to everyone? Okay, sure. Okay, okay. So this ID locator is very straightforward. You can see. Okay, so we can do one more method. Suppose if I have to let us check. Suppose if I have to check this checkbox. So we are only dealing with ID locator in this lecture. Okay, let me come back. Hmm. Okay, I have to click this again. Okay. Okay, so on the next page, I think it. Okay, so let us not discuss this. Okay, because we are dealing with ID locator as well in the checkbox. Suppose maybe you will not find ID locator, right? So there is one more method. Let us discuss this first, which is suppose this is my button, right? So how I will get the text which is present on this, you can say, button, right? I want to get the text present on this button. So how I will go to do that? Okay, so there is one method which is let me write it here, which is get text is one of the method. Okay, this method is the method we will use, right, to get the text of web element, right? Okay, web element. Okay, so this is the method we will going to use. So so by web element, what I mean. So again, I am saying that this is a web element. This highlighted one is web element. This is also a web element. This is also a web element. You can say, right. So you can also get the, you can say, but here you will not find the, you can see here that you are not getting that ID attribute, right? If I am placing my mouse here, so here you can also get the text, but you have to use another locator, right? Because you can use the class name locator. We will discuss this later. But as of now, this continue button has ID locator, so I will discuss this one. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, one more thing here. If I see, if I click placing my mouse here, and if I placing my mouse here, right, you can see the text is changing on the top, right? It is selecting that entire button. If I select this and if I select this, but see here, this is the text, continues the text, right? See here, this text continues written here. You can, I hope you are able to see. So we have to take this ID, not this one, not this one. We have to take this ID because this text is present inside this tag, right? So what I will do, I will simply copy this ID value. Okay, I have copied this, and then what I will write. This time I will not click on continue button, right? I am just saying that I am commenting it. Okay, what I have to do, I have to get the text. Again, I'm saying I have to find the element. What element I have to find, which is continue button. So inside that I will tell how I have to find that. You can say button, right? By dot, you can say I think it is ID locator we are using ID, and in double quotes I will just pass this. This is our ID name, and I will use the method which I have told you just now, which is get text. Okay, so this is the method you can see on the screen. Okay, I will put semicolon at the end. So you can see we have used this method, and it will give us the text. This is the text. Okay, continue is the text. So this will get us the text. But after getting the text, we have to print it as well. So I have to provide the statement system.out.println. Okay, so after that it will return and it will simply print the, you can say, continue text. Let us check as well whether it is printing or not. So I think it, okay, I will click it. So it will open and then, okay, I think our test case is completed, and you can see this is the text. You can see our response. So is it clear to you that how we have to use this get text method so that we can fetch the value of any web element? Is it clear to everyone? Okay, so what I will do, I will try with one more. See, but I have to use ID locator, okay, because we have not discussed other locator as well. So here you can see the ID is not present. Let me open one more website, right? I think it is w3schools.com. If I open the site, maybe ID attribute is present, then we can get it. If I copy this and suppose if I have to get this, so ID attribute is not present. You can see, okay, ID is present here. You can see. So this is also, this is not a button, right? This is just a label. If I click this, I am trying to click this. It is just highlighting. It is not opening other link, okay? But you can see the ID is present, right? So you can happily use ID locator, right, to get the text. This text in your console output. So how I will do, again, I will first open the website. I will copy the website URL, and I will simply, instead of this one, I will just simply write, okay, I have just, what I have done, I have just opened this website, right? Okay. After that, what will happen? This website will going to open, and after that, I will first of all let me remove this code. Okay. So let me open the website again. Okay. What I have done again, let me tell you here. I have to get the text of this text in my console. I will right click first so that I can see the coding part of that element, web element. I will click this button and I will click this. Okay, click it. You will see this is the ID, right? So I will double click it and I will just copy this. Okay, after that, what I have to do, I will come to my Eclipse and I will just simply write, first of all, driver dot find element. Again, I have to first find the element. How I will find the element? With the help of ID locator. So I am saying by dot ID. ID is the one, and then I will put the value of ID. This is the value, okay, in double quotes. After that, what I have to do, I have to get the text. So this is the method, okay, and then I will put semicolon at the end, and I will also put system.out.println statement because we have to print it at our output. So I will write. So I think this step is around sufficient to print the text of that web element. Let us check as well. So I will click on OK again. See, our I think site is loaded and our test is also completed. You can see with the help of this time it is not a button, it is just a label. So likewise, right, it has printed the text. Likewise, you can also get this text as well, right? Any text in this website, right? But make sure that you have the ID locator there. You can say the ID attribute, right? Because we have just discussed about ID attribute. If ID attribute is not present, then you have to use some other locator, right? Which we will be discussing in other lectures. Okay. So is it clear to everyone how we have to use this ID locator? So okay. So this is one thing. Let me remove this. So I think that let me also tell you what are the other locators which we will be having. Okay. So this is one locator which we have discussed. So this is done. This is done. Okay. So second locator can be last name. Third is name. Fourth is link text. Uh, ID class name link text, and then this is also one of the important XPath. Let me write first. Partial link text is one of the locator. We will discuss it one by one. Okay, and then XPath is also one of the locator. Seven is CSS. We have also one more which is tagline. Someone wants to say something? Shalish? Okay. So okay. So what I was saying that we have some more locators as well. You can see the list. We have discussed this one just now. We have these many locators as well, right? Which we will be going to discuss in our upcoming sessions. So I think that this is more than sufficient for today's class because, right, if I discuss this, then I will not be able to cover this uh, in the limited time, right? So we will be going to see all these, you can say, locators in the coming lecture. Okay, so that's it for all today, and I will also try to upload this video by tomorrow end. Okay, and we will also providing you one of the assignments so that you can practice there. So is it clear to everyone? Okay. So thank you everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have learned so many new things here. And step by step, we will also go to test engine, then we will come to Jenkins as well. So there is a lot more to learn about Selenium, right? So we will be seeing that in our upcoming lecture. As of now, I will try to upload that video by tomorrow, and then you can rewatch the session. Thank you everyone again. Tomorrow, see, this is the I'm saying that this is completed. So first of all, we will try to cover these locator, right? So this is the locator. Let me write locator here. So tomorrow we can discuss like this one as well. Okay, that will not take much of the time. Okay, I think you will be able to cover till here tomorrow. Okay, so they will not take much of your time. Locator, this is also these are the most important, right? XPath, let me write most important, and this is also the locator most important. I will say from the Selenium point of view. Okay, so we will start from this second class name locator. Okay, tomorrow. Abhijit. Okay. So thank you everyone. That's all for today. See you in the next lecture. Okay, Arjun. Thank you. Thank you, Rajendra. Thank you, Ankur. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, everyone.